SAS is proud to sponsor this event here today with Major League Soccer. Charlie Shin will be sharing with us the Major League Soccer story on data-driven CRM built on a solid analytic foundation. I got a sneak preview of this the other day. It's a really great presentation, so I hope you guys are as excited as I am. A quick couple of blurbs about SAS. We're the largest independent software vendor in the world with nearly $3 billion in revenue in 2012. We have customers in 135 countries. 90 of the top 100 companies in the Fortune Global 500 are SaaS users. And the group that I'm in is our customer intelligence practice, where we deal with web analytics, real-time decisioning, marketing automation, social media, and my personal favorite, customer experience analytics. But without further ado, Charlie Shin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlie Shin, and I am the Director of CRM and Analytics for Major League Soccer. I've been with the league for about 7 years now. So today, I'm just going to walk you through in terms of our CRM strategy and how we're trying to retain these relationship with our fans moving forward and continue to build that and establish the loyalties among our fans. I'll kind of walk you through the strategy and the framework around CRM. It starts off with understanding the overall customer, we call it the fan funnel. And it starts with building the awareness and all the way up through building the loyalties. And in terms of the CRM framework that we've established was, how do we take advantage of each steps and how do we migrate them from one phase to another through different activities throughout the process. It's divided into 4 sections: acquisition, engagement, monetization, and loyalties. And there's strategic directions for each of those phases and the goals that's established for each of those phases. So here's the framework. Based on that, we have the 4 phases that we've talked about, and then across the board, there's a measurement and tracking. And this is very important, that everything that we do is measured and tracked and analyzed so that we could go back and enhance some of the activities that we do, make changes, adjustments to our strategies. So the first step is acquisition. It can be broken down into 3 parts. One is internal data acquisition. We have some external data acquisition and data enhancement. Internal is all those data that exist across different silos, and I'm sure it's very similar to a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of information that exists within an organization that we're not aware of, or it's not integrated. Very similar case. What we've done at MLS was that we consolidated all of different touch points and the information that exists with our fans, starting from ticketing, merchandising, to digital subscriptions, social medias, and integrated into one place so that we have a full understanding of how our fans are engaging with our brands and our products. And then there's external data acquisition and access more of a prospects and lead generations to get additional fan information that haven't yet had a transaction with us. It could be types of sweepstakes, working with partners in co-promotions, event registration for grassroots activities, and so on. And third-party enhancement, it's very familiar with, I'm sure, with a lot of folks. We work with different companies out there that helps us go through a hygiene process to clean our data and enhance some of our databases with additional data appends to better understand about their profiles, demographics, financial information, and so on. One of the experiences that I'll be sharing today is an example of a fan acquisition that we had conducted with Star Wars. Lucasfilm had reached out to us saying, you know what, the fans of Star Wars are very similar to the fans of MLS, and we've gone through the due diligence to understand whether or not that was true. And yes, they are very similar in terms of the demographics and the psychographic social stage of the fans. And what we've done was that we would promote the sweepstakes and tying in a Star Wars contact in trying to get additional data acquisition for the MLS. Now, the benefit for the Star Wars was that there was an event that they could put out to their fans and incentivize and provide some prizes for participations. The unique part of this promotion was that this was not promoted through our channels at all. The intention was not to reach our existing fans, but really try to reach our potential new prospects through the channels of Star Wars using their social media platform, their digital platform, so that we're reducing as much as possible in terms of the duplicates of fan data that might exist. We have very good success in terms of the turnout, and it's a little fun that we had for everyone. A little bit about the data enhancements. We work with companies like Axiom, Nielsen Claritas, Ticketmaster Live Analytic, and I'm sure there's a ton of other companies out there that provide very similar services. It's about making sure that our data is clean as possible and making sure that we have a variety of information that allows us to analyze and better understand so that we could target our informations and communications better. And also, fan scoring is very important for our ticket sales. It's to get an understanding of how our fans are likely to purchase or renew our tickets in coming years. And it helps us to kind of prioritize how our sales are contacting our existing ticket holders. Engagement. So once all this information is collected, we have an understanding, then it's about going after and kind of building that and establishing that communication with our prospects, our fans. It can be kind of broken down into 3 sections. We call it newsletter is our product. Basically, what are the product that we use to engage with our fans? And we have selection of different newsletters that we utilize. The other part is personalization. It's very important that we personalize as much as possible in terms of the content, and we've seen a great success in terms of the responses and results that we've seen through the personalization efforts. And then the last part is the context strategy. It's not just about sending information of newsletters, but having a clear strategy in terms of when and what type of product and communication that we're going to be reaching out to our fans at certain time of period. So there is a map that's kind of created where if certain person comes through a certain acquisition channels, they go through certain different engagements, and based on their behaviors and their engagements, there's different type of communication that's tailored to our fans. So just to kind of share the type of communication that we have at the league, there's about 5 different newsletters. We have Kickoff. It's a daily newsletter. It talks about everything soccer, international, MLS, and it's for all the core soccer fans that are out there. And then we have our weekly newsletter as well as weekly MLS on TV. It's to promote any content highlighting from the past week leading up to the weekends, and then promoting where and when our TV will be broadcasted. And that's very important for the league in terms of making sure that we could drive people who's not going to be attending the match to be watching our games on TV. And again, everything is personalized and they're all dynamic based on the fans' profiles. So it could be club affinity, their locations, genders for merchandise newsletters that goes out, and our philanthropy initiative newsletter, MLS Works, that goes out on a monthly basis. So here's a little example of the success that we've seen. Left is the email. This is an MLS on TV, which promotes our tune-in schedules. The left email is the email that we've used in the past. It's a static email that only promotes about 3 nationally broadcasted matches on NBC, ESPN, or Univision. The right email is the new dynamic email that we implemented with the personalization based on the user's club affinity and then geolocation. So depending on which fan of club they are, they'll be they'll be served with different images on top highlighting their team's match rather than focusing on just random matches. And then all the other matches also highlighted based on their locations. And then on top of that, there is a tune-in information in terms of networks. And that's promoted not just on a national base, but also on a local base. And as you know, locally, there's tons of different channels that exist across different markets. So what we've done was, based on understanding their geolocation, we would serve up which network the games are being broadcasted, so that it's not just promoting our national broadcast, but we're also able to push out the information about our local broadcasting, which supports our clubs and really helps us really tailor the message to our fans. And here are the results. Comparing with our new dynamic emails versus the old static, we've seen tremendous impact on the click rates, as well as unique click rates, as well as the average open rates. Context strategy that I had just mentioned at the at the beginning for the engagement. This is an example of kind of the different strategies that we put together based on where they're acquired in terms of their data. And then based on that, we have a certain different types of automated email that goes out. And again, based on those responses, there's a different emails that are sent, so that we're kind of setting path in terms of different types of communication that we want to deliver based on how they behave, so that really we're tailoring as much as possible and we're maximizing the responses as well as the activities on our email campaigns. Monetization. This is the part that everyone loves. This is the part that we make money. And this is the part that's very important for us as well as our clubs. It's kind of broken down into different types of products that we can generate revenues on. We have our ticketing, merchandising, and digital subscriptions. Ticketing, it's about how do we personalize, again, based on their profiles, as well as retaining our season ticket holders. And that goes back to some of the information that I've shared about different types of scorings models that we develop. Merchandising, about new sales, cross-sells and upsells, understanding the past purchase histories, digital subscriptions, behavior targeting based on their profiles and how they navigate within our websites, as well as geo-targeted offer, because a lot of our digital subscriptions is based on, and there's a blackout rules where it doesn't work on certain parts of the market. So here's an example of different types of analysis that we do for ticketing. The two top graphs are showing different income index analysis that we've done using a third-party data to understand their discretionary income levels index, household incomes, to see depending on, kind of broken down into different products. So we have single tickets sold, full plans, and just in general within the Chicago DMA to see and compare where we stand. And with that, we could, I'm sure this is not the only information that we would use, but there are other information that we would take into consideration in developing different types of offers based on customer profiles. And then there's the scoring models that we've developed. This is an RFM model, which is recency, frequency, and monetary, and we work with an outside company to understand how often and how recently and how much they spent on an online ticketing purchase, to get an understanding that are these people willing to, or more likely to purchase tickets on online sites than others, which helps us kind of prioritize different prospects that we have and helps us market. Here's another example of email campaign that we've executed. Again, importance of personalizing content. The left email on top shows a generic offer, and this campaign was launched this March when we started our new season, and it was introducing the new kit for our club. So it's the New Jersey launch. And what we did was generic offer. It was a little bit of test group, sending a email that was just, wasn't targeted, wasn't promoting a one specific clubs, but it was an overall jersey. The next two emails shows that it's focused on one specific clubs. And then we've tied in a video in there, which is a video from an Adidas talking about the behind the story of the jersey, how this came to life, what was the concept behind the design. So it really made it engaging for people to listen and not just buy the jersey as a product, but have a full understanding, kind of story behind it, and really building that connection with our fans. I think that really helped us move the sales. The overall email campaign accounted for about 14% of the total sales revenue that was generated on online merchandise shop. Comparing the kind of the results between the generic campaigns versus the very club-specific campaign, you could see clearly the difference on average open rates to click rates, as well as the conversion rates. And you could see that there was about 3.7% of conversion rates of people that actually clicked and went to the site, and number of people that actually purchased the products. And that's about 269% higher than the industry average. So again, it clearly shows the importance of having that personalization, but on top of that, the addition of that video really helped us communicate that message in terms of merchandising promotion. Loyalty is the last piece, and this really pertains to a lot of the work that our clubs are doing. As a league, we try to help really build the awareness of the league as a whole, but also as individual clubs in many of those markets, and we help facilitate a lot of the engagements through various different contents. But at the end of the day, the fans are a fan of their clubs and not the league. You know, and the fans are there for their club, so it really makes sense that at the end of the day, it's the club's responsibilities to build that loyalties with their fans. And as a league, what we try to do is really help the individual clubs through various support and infrastructures and various analysis that we could do to help better understand their fans. And there's multiple clubs that are implementing loyalty programs. And really the focus is on providing additional values to our season ticket holders. So the program is only open to season ticket holders. That provides additional value for being a season ticket holder, and also increases the fan interactions and with their brands, and provides an incentive that they can't buy with the money. So it's about experience on the field, walking with the players into the games. It's one-on-one talk with the coaches. So it's something that can't get. You could only be part of that experience if you're part of the program and if you're a season ticket holder. And at the end, the last piece is really driving additional sales on tickets, food and beverage, other merchandises by providing points and rewards for any financial activities that are taken within their stadiums or outside of their stadiums. So the last piece is the measurement and tracking, and as I've kind of emphasized in the beginning, this is very important part of the overall framework, because you could be executing all the campaigns, but if you're not able to measure them and track them and have an understanding, it's no use, because we need to learn and we need to enhance our process as well as our strategy. There's 4 areas that we are measuring, and it aligns with each of the steps that we discussed. Acquisition, it's about the growth of our overall size of our database, as well as across key sources. So, you know, where are these data coming in from? Is it majority of them coming in from internal sources that we mentioned, or is it from external? Was the partner campaign that we executed with our partners successful in terms of number of acquisitions that we had? Engagements, it's about the growth of our newsletters. That's our product, and that's our main tactics in terms of communicating with our fans. So we want to grow the subscriptions, making sure that those people are signing up and communicating with us, as well as there's a cross-pollination that we're trying to put in place, where it's not just about 1 or 2 newsletters, but we want more people to sign up for a variety of different newsletters that they're signing up. So we're also tracking that in terms of multiple newsletters that people have signed up for. Monetization, obviously, it's all about the gross sales, the frequency, how often they're purchasing products with us, as well as conversion rates. Are we converting the campaigns into an actual sales? Loyalty indicator, we measure the club affinity. So every data that we have asks question which club that they're a fan of. And this information is really crucial for us, because that helps us understand if that person is a fan of one of our clubs. That gives the clubs an ability to communicate with those fans and build those engagement, because through those engagement, they'll be able to sell more products or increase the loyalties and maximize the customer lifetime value. And also, number of participation rates and club loyalty programs. Obviously, within the season ticket holders, we want to make sure that all of them are participating in the season ticket, the rewards program. And we've seen that more people that have participated actively on season ticket loyalty programs are more likely to come back and renew their season tickets. So clearly, there's a correlation that says, more engagement will equal to the retention of our customers. Here's a quick view of dashboards that we've created based on those key metrics that we've talked about. We've used SAS for our analytical and BI tool, and this is the dashboard that shows the status on the overall. It's kind of hard to see, but shows the overall number of databases that we have, different types of sources where the data are coming from. It shows about the percentage of people that have purchased products within our database, how many people have repurchased, the engagements from our email campaigns. On the far right shows the favorite club. So it's broken out across all of our clubs, and that shows the percentage of people that have said, I'm a fan of certain clubs. And we also have the number that says, I don't have a favorite club, which means basically we weren't able to get that information from them. So it's important for us to kind of migrate those people that are at the bottom to any one of our clubs and kind of moving them through those fan funnels that we've discussed, which will help us build new fans and grow the fan base. And last but not least, I just like to say that CRM is a journey. I emphasize this because it's not something that you're done and finished with. It's a continuing, it's an evolution. It's something that you just have to work on a regular basis and refine and just take small step at a time. There's no silver bullet. There's not a strategy out there that will get you from one place to another in one effort. So it's something that needs to be put in continuing efforts for everyone across your organizations, so that it's done and it's constantly improving throughout the process. So that's it for the presentation today. If there's any questions, more than happy to address them. Yes. Sure. So she asked about the percentage of demographics that we target in terms of the general market versus Hispanics. It really depends on we have a overall segmentation for the league, and there's about 6 different segmentation that we target. We have our core segment, which is Gen Y. It's 18 to 30 that we go after. And then the secondary target is the Hispanics. And obviously, it's not one or the other. It's different strategies for different segmentations and different communications that we target. So it's kind of hard to break down in terms of percentages, but we do have different tactics of campaigns that we execute. And one of the things that we're looking to do is creating more kind of Hispanic-based Spanish newsletters in down the line. That's something that is on our mind. But again, step at a time. We're trying to get one thing at a time and go down the path. We're a single entity, and what that means is basically all of our clubs are part of our league. And because of that, we have the luxury of consolidating all of our clubs database into one centralized data warehouse. And that's the process that we've taken. We are still in the process of integrating a lot of our clubs database into a centralized data warehouse. And then what we're doing is pushing that back to our clubs based on certain business rules. So if that person is a fan of certain clubs, if they live in that market, obviously we want to push it back out to the clubs so that they could communicate with them, build a relationship, and continue to engage with them. So it's a kind of hybrid model compared to MLB, where everything is centralized and they have the full control of the digital marketing. Here, League is really focused on providing infrastructure and the resource, and the actual execution of the marketing takes place at the club level.
Thanks. So it sounds like you could have different revenue objectives, merchandising versus ticket sales. So do you have different segmentations targeted specifically for those types of campaigns?
So the question was, do we have a different modeling for different business units like merchandising, ticketing, and others. Currently, it's focused on the ticketing because that's where majority of the revenues are generated. And hopefully down the line, we'll do different models for merchandising as well as combining. In terms of ticketing, those are data that needs to be considered into the modeling in terms of the merchandising purchase that they've done, in terms of different digital purchase that they've done, because that shows the level of engagement that person has. And more transactions that they have, I'm sure more likely they'll be returning in terms of the renewal of the tickets. So they are being kind of considered into the model, but we don't have a specific models for different business units as of now.
You showed us good examples of how you market to existing customers using newsletters and merchandise and things like that. Have you used email channel to acquire new customers?
We have, and those are more of the viral marketing. So there's send out a campaign and have them kind of forward it to their friends or other means. We've done it a little bit, but we haven't really exported a lot. But that's definitely some of the ways that we try to acquire new data is through our fans, and we sometimes use a lot of the social media for those. In terms of sweepstakes, we post it and share it, and that gives an ability for fans to kind of go and share it with their friends. I mean, we could just show you the example of the Star Wars campaign that we've shared, because so it's not showing in here, but we have a sharing functionality on the left that gives them ability to post this on their Twitters or their Facebook, so it's it's out there on a viral for other people to take advantage of the event.
Hi, are you able to track your social media actions and monetize off of them?
Track the social media activities and monetize them. I think that's the same question that everyone has in terms of trying to figure out how to integrate the social piece. We are looking into leveraging the social engagements through a lot of them on the loyalty program side, because there are a lot of companies out there that actually provides an ability to incentivize for the social media activities that takes place. So if someone, let's say, signs up for Facebook, gets certain points. If they tweet something, get certain points. I'm not sure if that's the right direction, but currently we don't have anything that's integrated in terms of measuring their behavior and tying it into our campaigns. But that's one of the areas that we're looking to do more and more within our. So there's a new product that's out there from Twitter, and it's not to promote them or in any ways, but there's a product called Lead Generation Card. I think that's the name, but it's basically allows brands to collect emails right on the Twitter platform, and it's not something where they're just posting it, but there's a link where they sign up, and that data goes into your email system right away, and you could send out a response email, whether it's a thank you email or a certain action, welcome email that allows to take the next step. And a lot of things that we try to do is we don't try to get everything in one communication. It's just get their emails, the basic information, emails, geolocations, and their club affinity. And then from there on, we show the context strategy. We try to do a next one where we're able to collect their gender information or their address or other information that helps us to do better targeting. But it's really at a gradual step that we're not being too direct in terms of the information that we get from our fans.
Hi. How are you? How is the MLS trying to have a bigger market share internationally? Is there any way you are trying to use all the data you have for going to for having a bigger share in Europe or South America? Because in South America, most of the people don't know anything about MLS, just that they have some, I don't know, like Ecuadorian or Colombian players, but nothing like big about MLS.
We do have a lot of information, and currently it's primarily focused on North America. We have 16 clubs in U.S. We have 3 clubs in Canada. There's one more club to be played in 2015, which is in New York. So a lot of our information that we have is domestic, and we do have international information, but currently the strategy is really focused on the domestic market and growing the fan base within our market. Now, within domestic market, there's a lot of international soccer fans, so that's one of the areas that we would leverage through various different communications, and we do friendlies with international clubs, like the All-Star game that's coming up in 2013, where we'll be playing AS Rome, which is an Italian club. Last year we played against Chelsea. Before that we had Man U. So there's a lot of international exhibition games that we take place, which gives us opportunity to kind of expose our league to international soccer fans. So there are different ways that we try to target the international soccer fans, but we currently don't focus on any marketing promotions outside of the North America.
So a lot of these details and innovation are driven by analytics. Can you talk to sort of what it's done to the skill sets in the marketing department over time in using analytics to drive these things? And maybe you can talk to, analytics are so technical, how has that changed your relationship with the IT department? Can you give some insights there that maybe can be a practical takeaway for us?
Analytic kind of changed how we do our business. I think the biggest change came from the kind of the restructuring, or I guess developing a new team that's strictly focused on analytic now. I'm part of the strategic planning and research, and the league has created a department so that we could be more data-driven organization, and we have different analysts that focus on different parts of the business, whether it's ticketing, digital, marketing, commercial, that really specializes on different parts of those data, and they have the expertise in analyzing them and providing analysis on them. And then we have our research department, which focuses on the traditional side of the analysis of using, whether it's a custom research that we conduct or third-party syndicated data. And then we have our business analysis capability with leveraging SAS in terms of all the different information that we have, and how do we take advantage of that and try to better understand the overall business, whether it's ticket sales or even scheduling. I think that's something that will be going down the line in terms of better understanding what are the factors that are influencing our schedules and how can we improve them through the analysis of different data points that we have. I think that's an area that not just MLS, but all the sports organizations are focusing on as they try to get more smarter, and there's more competition every day in terms of different sports and different option of entertainments comes into play. So definitely there's more emphasis being put on the analytics side of it, more resource, more investment. So definitely that's an area that have made change to our organization, and again, it's still evolving and will change in throughout the years that we do our business. So it's something that has become more important than before. Great. Well, thank you for your time, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the conference.